Hello friends, this is Benjamin from English Classes Online. Welcome to today's video. Today we are looking at the use of English in Jamb, that is Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board. The spotlight in today's video will be on the use of tenses, and we shall be illustrating with past questions. There is no doubt that the use of tenses is critical to the correct use of English, and if you learn the correct use of tenses, you learn to use English sentences correctly. Examiners in most English exams are fond of setting questions on the use of tenses, and this is why we are devoting this lecture to critically examining the use of tenses. And as we get into it, I would want you to pay attention if you are planning to sit for your Jamb English exam in the near future, or if you desire to use English for effective communication. This video will be useful as well to you. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to my channel. Click on the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified instantly. On this channel, we discuss various important topics in English, and here we simplify English learning. We teach you and give you keys and hints and secrets, and we share ideas that will enable you to score high in your English exams and give you the linguistic tools for effective communication. Now let's get started with the lesson right away. We shall be examining the questions, but first of all, let's familiarize ourselves with the English tenses. Now, as you can see here, English tenses, there are 4 English tenses: simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. And they reflect the 3 time frames: present, past, and future. You need to understand that tense in English refers to the form of the verb that indicates the time of an action or state of being. Now, when we look at the simple tenses, we have the simple present, the simple past, and the simple future. And if we look at the verb write, we are looking at the verb write. All right, that's exactly the verb we are looking at in this video. And so, looking at the verb write, the present simple, the simple present is write. I write, you write, he writes, they write, we write. Then the simple past is wrote. I wrote a letter to Grandma yesterday. All right. Now this can be used habitually. You know, Tunde writes letters regularly. Okay. Mary wrote a letter to her grandma yesterday. Then the future, I will write, or of course the appropriate, if you are using the first person's singular or plural, shall will be more appropriate. I shall write a letter to the ministry next week. You know, they will write a letter to the governor this weekend. They will write a letter. We shall write a letter to the president next week. Then continuous is used to talk about an action that is currently in progress. And you can say, you can put am if you are using the first person singular. I am writing a book right now. I am writing a book now. If someone asks you, what are you doing now? You can say, I am listening to an English lesson. Alright? And then you can say, James is writing a composition. He is writing a composition. The students are writing their assignments. Alright? Okay, then was is used to talk about an action that was in progress at a given time in the past. You can say that by 7 o'clock this morning I was still sleeping. That would have been very lazy of me, but we are using this, as an example. Or we can say, by 8 o'clock last night, I was writing my assignment. Now, will be writing is the future continuous, and it can be used to talk about an action that is expected to be in progress at a particular time in future. So you can say that by this time next week, I will be writing a book, for example. Or I will be traveling to Kano. Something you are expected, something that is expected to be going on at a particular time in future. Then the perfect tense is always used to discuss or express a completed action, the idea of completion. So has written, he has written a book. I have written. We have written. They have written. She has written. So that's the way the present perfect tense is used. Then had written is used to talk about an action that was completed at a point in the past, or was completed before another action intervened. For example, Mary had written a book before she gained an admission into the university. Mary had written. Here we are looking at two actions: her writing a book and her gaining admission into the university. And we say that she had written a book before she gained an admission into the university. Now, will have written is used to talk about an action that is expected to have been completed at a point or at a given time in future. You can say that by this time next year, Mary will have completed her university program. Mary will have completed, or Mary will have written her second book. Will have written, something expected to have been completed at a given time in future. There are other uses that we shall really discuss in details in a separate lesson. Then the perfect continuous has been writing. We look at something that started in the past and is still probably going on in the currently. We can say, well, she has been writing a book since last year. That suggests that she hasn't completed it yet. She has been. It started in the past and has been in progress. Probably part of it has been completed and is still going on. So perfect continuous is a mixture of completion and continuation. So here, had been writing refers to an action that started at a time in the past and continued to a point when something else occurred. For instance, we can say that Mary had been waiting for 3 hours at the airport when her uncle's plane arrived. Had been waiting. It's talking of duration in the past and up to a point that something else occurred. We shall talk about other uses in a separate lesson. Will have been writing, which is the future perfect continuous, is a projection into the future. We can say that by this time next year, Mary will have been writing her book for 3 years. Probably she has already written it. It has already taken her 2 years, and we are saying that by this time next year it will have, probably 3 years might have gone into that project. We can say that by the end of this month, the government will have been constructing this road for 8 months. It has been in progress for such a period of time. That gives you some idea about how to use the future perfect continuous. Now we have looked at the English tenses at a glance, and like I said before, we shall look at the tenses and their uses in greater detail in subsequent video lessons. For now, we want to delve into the various questions. All right, we are looking at Jamb questions, and these questions we are going to look at are questions from Jamb. The first one is, Kanuri is a language. I can't speak it well. That I can't speak it well. Of which I can't speak it well. I can't speak well. See, so here we are looking at which of these expressions will fit into this blank space to make a grammatically correct sentence. Now, if you look at it, Kanuri is a language. It will be more appropriate. Let's look at it. Kanuri is a language I can't speak well. I can't speak well. So that will be more appropriate. I can't speak well. All others do not really sound grammatically correct. So D is the answer. Kanuri is a language I can't speak well. So you can see, I can't speak well. I can't speak it well will not be grammatical. So we look at number 2. An acceptance of the offer would be a departure from the several rejections that dash. An acceptance of the offer would be a departure from the several rejections that dash. A had taken place, B have taken place, C will have taken place, D took place. Alright? An acceptance of the offer would be a departure from the several rejections that had taken place. Alright? In other words, several rejections that had taken place. An acceptance of the offer would be a departure from the rejections. So these rejections had already taken place. So here we already discussed the use of the past perfect tense because it is used to talk about an action that was completed before another one, and it fits in here quite well. We are looking at two actions in the past, and like we mentioned, a past perfect tense is a past in the past. And so we are looking at two actions here. You know, accepting the offer is one action, and then the rejections that had taken place in the past, is another action. So we are looking at two actions, and we have already been given one which is in the simple past. All right. For instance, if we are looking at what you did in the morning before you went to school, of course we will use the past perfect to talk about the first action. You know, we can say that Mark had eaten rice before he went to school. You know, or Mark went to school after he had eaten rice. So always we look at two actions, and then the one that was completed first uses the past perfect, and the one that came after, all right, uses the simple past. So here, an acceptance of the offer would be a departure from the rejections that had taken place. That means the rejections had taken place before, the offer was accepted. Question number 3. Lamb's father dashed as a gardener when he was young, but now he is a driver. Lamb's father dashed as a gardener when he was young. Alright, so had been working. Will that be correct? It won't be correct. Had been working. Used to work. Has worked. Used to work. Alright. So in this case, we are looking at something that happened habitually in the past. So in this case, we can use the word used to work as a gardener when he was young. Used to. That form of course, this is what we call the modal auxiliary verb, and it can be used to capture a habitual action that took place in the past. Working as a gardener was not something that just happened once. It was something that Lamb's father did regularly or habitually when he was young. We were not told how many times he did it, but certainly he didn't do it only once. So we are looking at the habitual nature of the action used to work as a gardener when he was young. So of course we have looked at this. The first question we looked at was a question from Jamb of 2008, question 67. Then the second one, question number 2, was Jamb 2009, question 70. The third one we've just taken is from Jamb 2011, question 67. Then question number 4, we are taking it from Jamb of 1991, question 91. And it reads, CB dash novels since she came home. CB dash novels since she came home. A is reading, that cannot fit in, you know. B had been reading will also not be correct, because we are not told that she has stopped reading. So this element of completion in the past may not be appropriate. Now, has read, the word since already shows us that it has been taking place over a period of time. So the appropriate choice will be CB has been reading novels since she came home. Has been reading. This is the present perfect continuous. Has been reading. Present perfect continuous is an action that started in the past and is still going on currently. There is no suggestion that she has stopped reading novels, but we were told that the action started since she came home and has not actually come to a noticeable end. So CB has been reading novels since she came home. And we have already taken, as I earlier mentioned, that was from Jamb 1991, question 91. Then question 5 is taken from the Jamb of 1990, question 68. Alright, so here we have the question. The chemistry teacher well, something is wrong with this. This is a typo. The guest comic during the laboratory work. Alright? Seized, of course, is the word here. Only is a typo. Confused S, confused Z with S. So, seized. So we have figured out the typo here, so we now understand the question. The chemistry teacher has, well, let me not mess up this. Okay. The chemistry teacher seized the girl's comic dash during the laboratory work, which she had been reading. Seized and had been reading. Does it fit in? Here again we are having a sequence of tenses, and we will talk about sequence of tenses in a different lesson. Okay, the chemistry teacher sees the girl's comic, which she has been reading. Of course, that won't fit in. All right. C, which she had read will not make sense. D, which she is reading, will also not make sense. Of course, the A will be more appropriate because we are talking of the past. And again, we are looking at the past perfect continuous, an action that was in progress that started at a particular point in the past and was in progress until something else intervened, and that's the exact picture we have here. The chemistry teacher seized the girl's comic which she had been reading, which means she had been reading that particular comic up till the point when the teacher seized it. The chemistry teacher seized the girl's comic which she had been reading during the laboratory work. Look at the action. She started reading the comic during the laboratory work, and the reading was going on until the point that the teacher seized the comic. Alright, so we have a mixture of a completion and a continuation. The action continued from the past up till a point when it was brought to an end, signaling completion. And that's exactly what we have in perfect, past perfect continuous. Alright, an action started somewhere in the past, continued to a point, and something happened. Then we look at question number 6. Of course, that previous question is taken from Jamb 1990, question 68. Then question number 6. Asabe is overdue for retirement as she dashed in this college since 1954. Is overdue, which means we are looking at the present time. Alright, Asabe is overdue for retirement at the time of this reportage. There is no evidence that she has retired, but we are told she is overdue for retirement, you know, as she dashed in this college since 1954. A, as she teaching? No. B, as she has been teaching. That's the appropriate thing. Of course, the present perfect continuous is used to express the idea of an action that started in the past and has continued into the present and is still continuing. Alright, it's still continuing. That's why it's present perfect. You know, it's a mixture of completion and continuation. Completion in the sense that it started somewhere in the past, so part of it has been done. You know, the teaching has been done, part of it has been done, and the part of the teaching is still going on. So it's a mixture of completion and continuation. Asabe is overdue for retirement as she has been teaching in this college since 1954. Now, if we remove all other aspects of this, or the other part of the sentence, we can say she has been teaching in this college since 1954, and that is quite correct. Question number 7, and that is, well, I think the year was omitted here. All right. Question number 7. The thief died shortly after dash shot by the police. A, being shot? No. B, having shot? No. C, becoming shot? No. D, being shot. This is actually correct. A lot of persons confuse this being with been. Being is used to express the idea of completion. You know, the thief has been shot, you know, but being gives us a picture of the time it is taking place, you know, shortly after being shot by the police. All right. Then question number 8, and this is taken from Jamb of 2006, type J, question 80. And then the question is, the police claim that a number of stolen cars dash recovered. That a number of stolen cars dash recovered. A has been recovered. That will not be appropriate because here we are having a number of stolen cars. All right, okay. Then B, have been, that's not correct. C, have been, this is appropriate. A number of stolen cars have been recovered. And this is talking about something completed, already completed in the recent past, but has relevance to the present discussion. Now, question number 9. In question number 9, which is taken from Jamb of 1986, question 90. The question is, we saw him dash over a wall as the police approach. A, leaped, that will be incorrect. We saw him leaped, that will be double past and it will be incorrect. Then B, leap, that will be correct. We saw him leap over a wall. That actually is correct. C is out of it. We saw him leapt, no. D, we saw him leaping, no. So the answer is B, we saw him leap over the wall. So that will be quite appropriate. Then question 10. Here we have the question is taken from Jamb 1991, question 51. And it reads, I know I dash read more, but I am tired. I know option A, I may read more, that's incorrect. I know I ought to, that is B, and that will be actually correct. I know I ought to read more, but I am tired. That's how it has been in today's video. We have actually been looking at the Jamb use of tenses. All right, we have been looking at Jamb, the use of English in Jamb, and the spotlight has been on the use of tenses. We have illustrated the use of tenses with past questions from various years, and I hope you have learned some lessons, you have learned some things, you have gained some benefits from today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Click on the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video on this channel, you will be informed instantly. Don't forget that on this channel we upload videos regularly, and here we simplify English learning. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you click on the bell icon so that you will be receiving regular notifications whenever new videos are uploaded. I want to thank you for being part of today's episode. See you in the next video, and bye bye for now.